Hello, my name is Harndone and I have been a violinist in the Amadeus Chamber Orchestra since 2007, so for 18 years. This may feel like a long time, but there are many members who have been in the orchestra since its inception in 1975, 50 years ago. This video has been created to celebrate 50 years of the Amadeus Chamber Orchestra and will involve interviews with conductors and players over this period of time, exploring how the orchestra has evolved and what it means to us all. Enjoy. Thank you so much for joining me. It's such a pleasure to meet you, especially obviously because I know your work so well, but we're here to talk about the Amadeus Orchestra and you as the founder member and the founding conductor of it. So Keith, you established the orchestra in 1975, bringing together music teachers, professional musicians and talented amateurs together. Can you tell me a bit more about this, or what the music scene was like of St Albans at the time?
Well, it actually began with a lady called Rowena Nicholson,
right.
Now dead, but she was a clarinet player.
Okay.
She lived out in Talents in Wheathampton. Anyway, she was a fine clarinet player. She got me. She had a group who came to her house, Talents.
Yeah.
And they were choir to begin with, a little choir, and then they instrumentalists started to come, and then they formed Amadeus, the orchestra, which went out there, and then eventually at St Saviour's out in St Albans. So that was how it all began, really.
I mean, did you have any specific aims, or was it just to continue music making?
I don't think so. I mean, we eventually got the St Saviour's venue.
Yeah.
We used that a lot.
Yes.
For concerts, because the acoustic was good.
Yeah.
It was fairly warm in the winter, and the vicar was friendly.
Yeah.
At that time, that one, and so that was really how it all began. No more complicated than that. It was an interesting thing because there were a lot of local musicians.
Yeah.
It was a very committed little band, really.
Mm.
So it was very, very nice to work with them.
How long were you the conductor of the orchestra for?
I can't tell you really. I just remember I gave it up because I got some appointments in Brazil.
Oh wow!
As you do, and but I became very in demand in Brazil. I don't know why. It was just something about my work, especially the books.
Yes.
And the translations into Portuguese.
And did you have to do any recruiting yourself, or was that down to people in the orchestra?
Well, there were a lot of people who might know the names of people from bassoonist Colin Beak.
Yes, I'm going to interview him.
All right. Well, there were people like him, and who were very keen, and knew a lot of other people who played. So they were contacts. We could soon find deputies.
And I guess my final question is, how do you think the Amadeus Chamber Orchestra sort of added to the cultural life? Because I feel like I personally think it's part of the fabric of St Albans now, St Albans music making. Do you feel you were adding to?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a sort of a high standard, low rehearsal.
Yeah.
Not the bad rehearsals, but not too many.
Yes.
Which meant that people would play who didn't want to commit themselves to, endless rehearsals.
Yeah, I recognise myself in that absolutely, that it's.
So that was where it fitted a slot that no one else was in.
Yeah.
It was, it's quite different from the Bach choir.
Yes.
And all of the Abbey things, and
different from the symphony orchestra as well.
And different from them, yes.
Thank you. Is there anything else that you remember that you want to share before we finish, or?
No, it was just a very happy time because the people were very committed.
Yeah.
They were very able.
Yeah.
And they were very flexible, to be used. They also had lots of contacts, who could pull in other people when required.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming and agreeing to talk about your experiences of Amadeus Chamber Orchestra.
If I can start off correcting you.
Oh.
It started off as the St Albans Chamber Orchestra, and it probably was for a couple of decades.
Something like that. Yes.
Before it became Amadeus.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but it's the same band.
Yes.
It just continued. I don't remember quite how it happened. It was via a lovely lady called Robina Nicholson.
Yes.
Who
Keith
was
mentioned her.
who was
Clarinetist.
first clarinet player.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely clarinet player. One of these people who was very busy and yet still had time to organise everything. If the orchestra, she used to live in Kimpton.
Yes,
And
that's what I remember him saying.
if the orchestra played at the Kimpton Festival, which she also organised, she'd feed the whole orchestra in her house, just like that.
Yeah.
She was one of those ladies, and a
lovely.
nice clarinet player as well.
Very bubbly, very friendly.
Yeah, so she and Keith Swanwick formed the thing. Yes.
So I was trying to remember, actually. It's so long ago, you'll have to excuse us because we're wrinklies now. we don't remember that far back.
Hardly.
But to be honest, although in hindsight it was clearly a very important introduction and the beginning of something very worthwhile, at the time it was just another thing you got asked to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know what your experience is, Colin or Anita, but I mean, within 10 miles of here, there are at least 10 or 12 orchestras.
Yes.
And draw upon a finite group of players. So
Yeah.
lots of us are in lots of things. And I suppose somebody asked us,
Yes.
is the honest answer, but I've no
And it did
recollection
mean-
of it.
Did mean that we didn't have to go into London to play.
That was it, isn't it? Yes,
close
indeed.
to home.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Number
I think
of
actually
people
certainly
we
what
knew.
attracted me about you guys was the fact that it was the repertoire.
Okay.
The potential of the repertoire. I mean, if you want to play big orchestral works, there are groups that will do that. Most of them rehearse week after week.
Yeah.
It doesn't suit most people's lifestyle.
Yes, of course.
Or they're small specialist groups doing Baroque stuff. But to join a group that was clearly high standard and playing the sort of repertoire that's within the range of decent amateurs,
Yeah.
which we all are.
Yes.
We're not professionals.
Yeah.
But can play to a high standard. I think
Yeah.
that's what probably attracted people in the first instance.
Yeah.
And I think it's held to that, hasn't it?
Yes, that was right. And it was there weren't, as Roger says, there weren't any other chamber orchestras around doing that repertoire.
But it's also always been a very friendly,
It has.
sociable orchestra as well,
Because
hasn't it?
over the years, I mean, there's
yes,
been gradually
always very
evolution of
welcoming to
members.
new players.
Yeah.
And yes.
Yeah, I think I mean, I don't know about you, but what attracted me to the orchestra was the fact that it is Sunday.
Yeah. That's
Yes, one day.
One day.
And that's
then
really
the concert,
nice.
that's another attraction.
It is
yes.
attraction.
Yeah.
But you know you're going to get a good concert out of
Yeah.
it,
Yes, yes.
and everyone's going to work
Good
hard.
standard in that
So
time.
do you have any special or memories that stick out of any concerts or repertoire that you've done? That
I was
or
thinking about that
ceremonies?
actually, and the thought I had was actually, for me, there aren't. And I think in a way that's what's special.
Because
Yeah.
In that there
programmes.
needn't be any highlights, because the highlights are actually at the end of each concert or during each concert.
Yeah,
And I
like
can't
that.
actually remember any particular event that was particularly stood out because they're all high
Well, we
standard.
all have-
And that's it's the
yeah.
consistency, I think, as you were saying, Nick.
Yes.
The,
Some good programmes.
Yeah.
yeah.
The one I remember is the Mozart bassoon concerto.
Oh.
That one
Oh,
sticks
dear.
out for me, of course.
Can you remember what year that was? What was that? I don't think that was before my
Okay.
time.
That's a little while ago.
Oh.
90s.
18, just after first performance. It wasn't first performance. I agree with Roger. They're just always enjoyable.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah,
it's-
I agree.
And rarely do we play any music that I don't take to. It's strange after all those
agree.
years.
I think the other thing that has worked, I think, is the changing conductor policy.
Yes.
Whereas, you know, Keith ran it for however many years
Yeah.
it was, and Simon for 20, 25, 30
At least,
years.
Yeah.
Terrific, not a word against them, but
Marvellous.
since Simon decided to draw his horns in, as you know, we've had a succession of young
Yes,
people.
that's
It's been a
right.
real treat. I think they valued it too, because
Yeah.
provided they can survive the Colin Beak moment.
Hey, what was
The Colin Beak moment is whenever we have a new conductor, about 20 minutes into the conductor, into the rehearsal, Colin will ask a seemingly innocuous question, like such as, how
We
do you
all
want
know
that
what's
dot
going to be
played?
said.
Should I breathe hard? And how they react to that
Yeah.
is the measure of, and they've all passed so far.
Should I go with
Yeah.
a particular section, or should I
Yeah.
stay
Yeah.
with you as
Yes.
a
Well,
conductor?
it's possibly something like, do you want me to play that with the cellos or with you?
Oh yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Oh, that's right.
Sometimes it is quite pointed, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much, guys.
It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
It's a
you.
pleasure.
So, how did you get involved with Amadeus and then eventually become leader?
Well, when I moved into St Albans in '76,
Yeah.
so I got involved in, I think, 78, 79. I
Yes.
started playing, and then Keith Swanwick was conducting.
Yes.
And Brenda Potts. Brenda was there, and Jill Smith.
Yes.
And that was all very settled, you know, they led, and then they moved away.
Oh.
And then Simon took over conducting. For a while we had various different leaders. Crystal Bailey
Yes.
came along and did several concerts.
Yes. Yeah.
And we played with Alexander or Sandy Bailey,
Sandy Bailey
on the cello. Crystal's a lovely leader, and then Jeff Barker and I sort of shared doing the leading for, I think, a couple of years.
Yes.
In 1990, 1991.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just sort of happened. I seemed to lead everything from about 1992.
Yes, that's right. I
Yeah.
did see that in the programmes. So obviously, Jenny, you and your family are so well known in St Albans, and you've led a lot of orchestras
Yes.
and ensembles over the years. And I know you sing as well, but is there anything about Amadeus that kind of makes it special or sets it aside from the other local groups that you are involved in?
Well, I think because Amadeus is a sort of invited orchestra,
Yeah.
then you can work out which players you'd like to have there,
Yeah.
and you can get a very good standard. And also because we only have 2 days that it involves, that's the rehearsal day and the concert day, and therefore people, the good players will commit to that.
Yes.
And everyone seems to know each other so well, and it's a very friendly orchestra.
I think so.
You were saying about what was special, and I think it's special is the way we have the soloists, and quite a lot of local soloists,
Yes.
and young soloists.
Absolutely.
And it really has been, great. Some people from the orchestra, and you do feel that it's very personal, that the soloists would want to play with this orchestra.
It really builds that community aspect,
Yes.
doesn't it? The local soloists, the young ones who have maybe at the Purcell School.
Yes, that's been lovely to have something.
Yeah, it has, and we've got a sort of educational purpose as well for some of those soloists.
My children got opportunities,
Yes.
which they wouldn't have got. I mean, David played the Glasnow saxophone concerto in 2005, and then Michael played something with,
I think it was
Shostakovich with Patrick Bailey conducting.
Yes,
and that was 2006.
Yeah,
and then he brought a friend from university to do the Brahms double. Well, personally, a very special time was when my husband Tony, was ill, and we just found out that he had the brain tumour.
Yeah.
And the last concert he really came and enjoyed was Michael playing the Elgar cello concerto.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that was very memorable to me.
Oh, gosh. You know, I think sometimes the orchestra is a bit more of the fabric of the community than we might realise.
Yes.
And it's played such a role in your children's lives as well. And, you know, I also know that Izzy Thompson, she's come back as a soloist.
She has.
And I know that Colin Beake's daughter, she appeared in the orchestra just the once in Brandenburg. It was Brandenburg 1 in, I think it's 1989 or something like that. So, you know, it feels like a real, a proper tight-knit community stroke family.
Yes. Yeah, we're very lucky.
We are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it is lovely being able to use people from the orchestra, you know, as soloists.
Yeah, and you've been a soloist yourself as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important that when we've got players, like you said, and I know obviously we've got Sarah Devnell coming back, but
Sarah, Angela Crisp.
Yeah, Angela Crisp, she's been a soloist
quite a few times.
Quite a number of times. Colin,
yes.
He did the Mozart bassoon concerto. This is, I think, pre-Simon. They did the Schumann concert Stück.
Yes. For the horns.
Yeah, and that was with Tim Swanwick as well. Yeah. He was one of the horns.
Yes. Judith Hill. Oh, now Bowman.
Yes. And she's coming back to play in the...
we're doing it We are reprising our Brandenburg 4.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Jana,
Jana,
Judith, and you.
and me. Yeah, so we've done it before, so we ought to be all right.
It's so exciting. It's a great,
it's a lovely
so
piece.
fun.
Yeah.
It's really lovely. Oh, well, thank you so much, Jenny.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, okay. Thank you for joining me, Louise.
That's an absolute pleasure.
Obviously, you're the chair of the Amadeus Chamber Orchestra Committee. I don't know if you could tell me a bit about that and what you do each time we've got a concert.
Yeah, well, it's quite a busy role. In fact, when Simon stood down at the end of 2017, I had no idea how much work it was going to be, and I had no idea how much work he and Amanda had been doing for the past 30 years in keeping the orchestra going. It's been great fun, but sometimes becomes a bit overwhelming.
I'm sure.
Leading up to the concert.
Yeah.
And we've got a great team. Jenny has been obviously around for a long time.
Yeah.
And has been a great support throughout, and she's really great on repertoire. And the others all have their very specific roles.
Yes.
And they all do an amazing job, and we work well together as a team, and everyone just gets on with it.
Yeah.
The one person who I would like to just mention is Yvonne.
Yes.
Yvonne Botolf, who's been a dedicated member of the committee for 20 years and has now finally decided to retire on our 50th anniversary concert. So it's very appropriate.
Yeah, timely.
The timing of it. Just want to say how hugely appreciative we are of all the work that she's done over the years, together with her husband Mike. She's sort of in recent years, she's managed to get to grips with all the online concert
she's
listings.
the publicity.
Her background is publicity,
Yeah.
but that was a long time ago, before the internet. So she's done incredibly well to come to terms with all that.
Yeah.
She and Mike have trudged the streets of St Albans in all weathers, putting up posters. They do that every concert. There's the library, all the churches, wherever. And then they both sit by a drafty church door every time to sell the tickets.
So dedicated and committed.
So, a lot of the orchestra probably don't even know who Yvonne is. Wow. And in terms of the economics of it, I think we're quite unusual in that we don't charge any subscription or anything. So the players no one has to pay anything. But
that's quite rare, though, isn't it?
So we have to rely mainly on ticket receipts, making sure that we have a full house in order to keep the orchestra afloat financially. I just like to say as well that I think that we're very aware that the audience plays an integral part of our concerts.
I totally agree.
And we're very aware of what the audience would like to hear, and
I think also they come to see the soloists, don't they? That we try our best to draw on local soloists.
Yeah.
I think we've had a running agreement or a relationship with the Purcell School, haven't we?
Yeah, the Purcell School's been incredibly important, and in my view, should continue to be very important for the orchestra's future.
And then it does draw those local audiences in.
Yeah, and the other person who's played a lot with us is Andrew Blankfield.
Yes.
And we're very lucky that Andrew lives in St Albans, because he's a fantastic pianist, but he's been back a number of times and performed most of the Beethoven piano concertos with us.
He's a well-loved musician in the local community, isn't he? So.
He is. And in fact, he's joining us to play harpsichord
for the
in our anniversary concert. So that feels very appropriate that Andrew can be part of that.
Yeah, I do think it's lovely the way the anniversary concert will draw upon soloists who have been members and soloists in the past of the orchestra, but also, I guess most fittingly, will be conducted by Simon.
Yeah, and also that Jenny is playing the solo part in the Brandenburg concerto, because Jenny's contribution.
I think those two have been a real linchpin for us, haven't they?
And also Sarah Devenold.
Yes.
Coming to conduct the Wind Serenade, because Sarah was a huge loss when she moved away.
I do remember.
But Sarah, her contribution not only as principal oboe player, but also as part of the committee was incredible. I mean, she was, well, she really supported Simon in choosing interesting repertoire.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think the pattern we have now of the young conductors coming in and then having Simon to come back periodically just works really well.
Yeah.
I think it's stimulating for the orchestra, and everyone loves Simon coming back as well.
Yeah. I think he still brings that element of consistency to us, doesn't he? Yeah.
And I think with Simon, actually, he's always instilled a discipline in the orchestra.
I agree.
And
that discipline
yeah.
is then quite evident to the guest conductor, that we do have that. But obviously, Simon's experience, I think, shines through in all of this, doesn't it? In terms of the way he prepares so thoroughly for our rehearsals.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Louise.
No, it's been a pleasure.
So I guess the first question is, you took over the orchestra as conductor in 1988, I believe.
That's right.
Can you tell me how this came about?
Well, we moved to St Albans just before that, about 1987.
Right.
And before that, I'd been in London and I had conducted an orchestra there called Amadeus Chamber Orchestra, which was kind of my own project, my own orchestra.
Yeah.
And some of the people who were playing in the Amadeus Chamber Orchestra also played in that orchestra. And also I met some of the people who played in Amadeus through other orchestras in London when I was playing the cello. So I did know some people from the orchestra. And when we arrived in St Albans, we had a phone call and said, would you like to conduct this orchestra? So this was an orchestra which had, as you probably know, had sort of gone into a lull for a few years and hadn't done much in the previous 4 years.
Okay.
And there was an orchestra looking for a conductor, which is rather rare. And I jumped at the chance, and that started a very long relationship with the orchestra.
Did you have any underlying philosophies or aims when you took over the orchestra? Obviously, you took over a sort of an existing bunch of people, so...
Yes, I mean, I wanted to sort of keep the ethos that had started, that Keith Swanwick had started, trying to encourage the best players to play, the best amateur players to play, by not having the kind of weekly rehearsal schedule, just having a block of rehearsals one weekend and the concert the following weekend. And that would encourage the better players to play, because if you have too many rehearsals, they won't play.
Yeah, that is
so that was one thing I wanted to continue that, and that's what the players wanted as well.
Yeah.
I think in terms of what I wanted to do with the orchestra, it was always thinking that because it's an amateur orchestra and people are just playing for fun, it's got to be fun for the players. So you've got to choose programs which are going to be interesting for them to play.
Absolutely,
Are they interesting because they're well-known works, or interesting because perhaps they're works that people don't know? But then you've also got to keep an eye on the fact that you need to have people come to your concert, so you have to choose works which are going to be somewhat popular as well. So there's that balance, and we always wanted to keep it a chamber orchestra. So so the biggest the orchestra generally got was double woodwind and two trumpets, two horns, and timpani. That was the biggest size, and sometimes we were smaller than that. I think sort of in terms of making it fun and enjoyable for the kind of players we had. It meant that it actually being serious about the music, serious in rehearsals, and trying to make it better, trying to actually explore what you could do, get the balance better, making people really listen to what was going on in the orchestra. You could do that with an orchestra of this standard, and that's why people enjoy doing it. And still wanted to come back the next time.
Yes, absolutely.
And so on. So yes, it was very much trying to attain the highest standard we could. Okay, it's an amateur orchestra, but some very good players there. But try and maintain that high standard, because that's what made it so enjoyable and made the concert so enjoyable.
Yeah, you were conductor of Amadeus for just under 30 years.
I was.
And remain a member of the cello section when you can. How do you feel the orchestra's evolved during this period, and what's remained the same and what's changed?
It's been remarkably stable, actually, both in terms of the kind of things we do, the kind of pieces we perform, and even in terms of the very long-term membership of the players. So certain players who played, almost from the beginning, and prior to my time. So we have a few of those, but a lot of people have played for very many years, and that, I think, makes the orchestra very cohesive.
Yes.
I think the thing that have changed maybe it was rather organised on a shoestring at the beginning, and gradually it's become a little bit more organised. It now has a much better organised committee. It's financially much more stable and much more organised on the financial front. The committee is well structured and people have delegated roles within the committee. And I think this all helps to make it run smoothly. And indeed, it's now a registered charity, which it wasn't at the beginning. And so all these things I think have helped to make the orchestra more stable. And especially when I stepped down, there was a question of what's going to happen. And I think because it had that stability of a committee and that structure and the people involved in it, it was clear that it was going to continue, even though I stepped down. So that was a great relief to me.
And finally, do you have any highlights from the past 37 years in terms of concerts or soloists or collaborations?
I mean, there's so many highlights, aren't there? And so it's sort of always invidious to sort of pick out individual things. I mean, it's been such a sort of wonderful and important part of my life. It's really, kept me going. It's kept me going on musically. It's been such a sort of great experience to have that going on for such a long time with such good players and with such enthusiastic players as well. I suppose if I had to pick out highlights, the things I kind of really still remember very vividly are some of the concertos we did. And some of the concertos we did with, really eminent soloists, which kind of lifted up the standard of the orchestra and enthused them because they had these fantastic people playing. So I remember doing quite a few concerts actually with the cellist Alexander Bailey. He came on a number of occasions. We did the Beethoven Violin Concerto with Andrew Watkinson, who's the leader of the Andean String Quartet. We did the Richard Strauss Second Hall Concerto with David Pyatt, who was a fantastic horn player.
Amazing, yeah.
So these things. If I had to pick out individual things, I think it would tend to be the concertos and the people who played those. But in any concert, when a member of the audience comes up to you or a member of the orchestra comes up to you and says, I really enjoyed that concert. I really enjoyed playing whatever piece it was. That really makes the day.
I think the 50th concert should be really exciting, and
we're going to play the Mendelssohn Hebrides Overture, which I chose for two reasons. I chose it because it was the first work I ever conducted in a public concert, way before Amadeus Chamber Orchestra time. But it was also the first piece I conducted with Amadeus Chamber Orchestra. So I chose it because it's like a reprise of that concert we did. I think it was the beginning of 1988 in the end. So yes, and we're doing Beethoven's Symphony No. 4, which we had done before, and I think probably a couple of occasions. So yes, we are doing some of the works we've done before, but probably many people and the audience members won't remember when we did it quite a long time ago.
No, I know, but I think it's I'm so pleased that you'll be conducting it. I think it's fitting for the 50th anniversary that you'll be conducting it, and we've got soloists.
Yes, soloists from the orchestra now and the orchestra past. We're so for bringing people back who are very much involved in the orchestra. And I'm just pleased now that having stepped back from conducting the orchestra is continuing in much the same way. It's had some very successful concerts, so it doesn't feel like the orchestra is floundering at all. The fact that it's continuing to flourish is I think a sign of great health.
Yes,
and long may it continue.
Yes, I think it's evolving, isn't it, the orchestra? And that's fantastic. I think we do miss your conducting dearly on a regular basis, but it is also different and exciting to have the guest conductors.
Absolutely, and good for the orchestra as well. Actually.
Yes, and it's great that you're still a part of it as well.
Absolutely, and I will intend to keep going as long as I can.
Oh, brilliant! Well, I look forward to September so much.
Thank you very much,
and thank you so much, Simon.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.